12 News Eye on Agriculture with Britton Rucker.
A Leavenworth couple had big plans for a barn dominium. Now, instead, they are filing criminal charges against the builder and are now trying to find their money and get it back. The latest ahead. Plus, we get a look at what new reports are saying about the world wheat market and where analysts expect it to go. And this summer's record heat and drought expected to push food prices up by at least 5% this year. How farmers are reaping a smaller harvest just ahead. Good evening and welcome into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. Rain was a welcome sight last week, but just how much did it help? Let's get over to meteorologist Jake Dunn for a look at the latest drought map.
Well, a significant change with that new drought monitor last Thursday. For the first time since March of 2022, no one in the state is in that exceptional or worst category drought. Now, we are still in a drought, so we don't want to discount that. But again, we are making major improvements. 84% of the state still in a drought. Best conditions out in southwest Kansas, worst conditions in north central Kansas. And unfortunately, the rainfall chances moving forward are on the slim side.
Rain delays were scattered throughout last week, but farmers were still able to make significant progress in the fields, especially in corn acres. According to the USDA's crop progress report, 71% of corn and 85% of soybeans have been harvested so far. This is slightly behind where progress was at this time of last year, though considerably ahead of the 5-year average. Kansas was 89% done with corn and 80% done with soybeans. This summer's record heat and drought expected to push food prices up by at least 5% this year. That's according to a Department of Agriculture forecast. CBS's Mark Strassman reports farmers are now reaping a smaller harvest.
Van Hanserling grows peanuts and cotton, but this Mississippi farmer is harvesting a disaster.
It probably took 2/3 of the cotton crop and probably half the peanut crop. I've been farming for over 40 years, and I've never seen anything like this.
His losses alone about $1.2 million. Too much heat, too little rain.
This one's got a piece of a bean in it.
This summer's same 1-2 punch that knocked down Jack Dorsey's soybean harvest in neighboring Louisiana. He calls soybeans poverty peas.
Everything hurts on a farm if you're not getting everything, all the potential out of your crop.
Over the summer here in Franklin Parish, 27 days of triple-digit heat baked crops. Making matters worse, between mid-July and the end of August, no rain for nearly 6 weeks, not one drop. Another issue for these soybean fields. It never really cooled down at night during the scorcher of a summer. That further stressed these beans, which further stressed these farmers. Summer extremes hit farms from California to Minnesota to Mississippi. Its impact hitting farmers like Daly and consumers like us. He's lucky. His loss, about 15% of his soybeans.
It looks like we're going to get our crop out, which is huge.
It's what always seeds a farmer's outlook. Optimism. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Extension, Louisiana.
With the House back in session after naming a new speaker, Republican lawmakers are now pushing for the renewal of the Farm Bill after some of the provisions expired in September. The bill governs policy and spending for farm, food, and conservation programs. This comes as the USDA announces a new $2.3 billion for farm exports as it waits on Congress's action on the Farm Bill. Failure to renew the bill would result in more of its provisions expiring at the end of the year, leaving programs funded by the bill left to shut down. As we end spooky season, you might be getting ready to dispose of leaves and pumpkins. Composting might be a more economical and environmentally friendly alternative to throwing them in the trash. Composted soil contains nutrients that plants need and reduces the amount of chemical fertilizers needed, saving you money and resources. Plus, composting is easy to do.
Mulch them down and bag them through a lawnmower, and then put them in a big pile and let them degrade, let them rot. Really quality compost that will add nutrients and water holding capacity to your gardens or your yard.
And while the soil might not be ready for a few months, the purpose of composting your pumpkins and fall leaves will leave the soil rich in the spring.